Yes, sir.
Yes.
So let us say today is 7/7/21. What is? Let us say I have data section declared like this. Array dt 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Okay. Now I have. Okay, let us say I am declaring one message. db value is %d. So I am specifically purposefully taking 10 0 because I know that that is not added with what you can call it as slash n, okay, or a printf directly. So text global main. So we want to print this number. So printf external, correct? So say main. Now what we want is we want to display this 10. So how can I do that? Because this is having multiple values here. Okay, so let me do like this. So what I will do is I will first take address of array. Okay, array address of array into ESI. Fine. So let me show you like what we are getting in the thing. So NASM dash APLF 32 07 0721 dash G dash F dwarf GCC 07 0721 dot O dash M32 dash G dash F dwarf. Okay, so this was our code, what we wrote. Correct. Now, if I want to display array, so it says what? It doesn't know what is this array. Correct. So let us say break main. So run. Correct. Now we even like if I try to print, say print array, it doesn't permit me that thing. Correct. It says array has unknown type, which it cannot understand. Fine. So now let me execute this ESI part. So let me say like let me display this ESI. So ESI currently has some number which I don't care what exactly that is. Okay. So let us do this. If I say step. Now can you see what is there with ESI? What is there with ESI? Can you read that number? Yes, please. That is a very big number, correct? So like with assumption that this is an address. So if I want to display value at that address in a decimal form, so you say examine X and I want that value into decimal. So that's why you write here $ESI. Fine. Now when you do this ultimately, press enter. Can you see that value? What value is shown there? Can somebody tell me what value is shown there?
10.
10. Was it the same value that we were expecting?
First value
First, yes.
Whatever the array that we had, first value is 10, correct? That's what is displayed. So if I say ESI plus 4, then what it is? Is it the next value?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Correct. So if it is the case, then like if I want to display this, how should I display that 10 in the outside world? Or if I like here you might have seen I'm adding 4 and then trying to display it this way. How exactly this would be done inside the code if at all I want to display all those 5 values. Correct. So it would be something different, like whatever the way that I may try to work out, if I have to specifically write such kind of code, which would be displaying these values particularly, like 10, 20, 30, 40, whatever the values that are added by us, then how exactly it is to be done. So let us try this. OK, so if I have to display this, like now you might have seen I am displaying this value into decimal. So if I say x slash, say for example, t, so it shows in binary. Correct. If I say x slash x, it is hex. Correct, because we have said ESI plus 4. That means we are talking about second value. Correct. If I write there O, then this would be octal value. Correct. So this is the format that this GDB permits us to do so. So if I now wish to print that value, how can I print? Here I specifically said I add ESI comma 4. Correct. So let us go back to our code. And let us write here push. That's where we want to print that value at that address. So dword ESI push msg call printf add esp comma 8 because we pushed two values. So if I try to display this, let us see what it shows. Nasm GCC and let me execute this. So I can see that it is displaying me 10. Correct. So if I want to display next value, what I need to do? So either let me write this way plus 4. Let us try this. Asm GCC a dot out. It is displaying this. So you may say like whether is it really printing the value or it is something done internally. So if I change these values to 1024, 230, 330, 401, 570. So now we should see value 230 as an output. Nasm GCC and a dot out. So second value is shown. But then why should I specifically write this? Because you might have seen how will you print this array if you are writing a C code? You would be making use of for loop, correct? Am I right? You would be making use of for loop. But then again, like ultimately what I am supposed to do here. So let us say, let me pick a counter, move ECX comma. OK, let us take EDI comma. I'm taking register only. So we have 4 values. That's why like 5 values. So we'll keep 5. OK, call printf add esp comma 8. Add, and I will keep adding 4 into ESI. Correct. And then I will say loop. No, not loop. Decrement EDI jump not 0 to a label. So I want it to go here and it should display continuously. It is like for loop. So you are saying for I equal to 5. For I equal to 5. I greater than 0. I minus minus. And then you are having printf function. Correct. So if I try doing this, let us try. Let us see what happens. Let us check. Nasm GCC. Now if I see my code, so my code contains these values 104, 230, 330, 40 and 570. So I can see that the values are displayed there contiguously. Correct? Correct? Am I right? Have you understood the code? Check it once. Check it once. What we are doing? We are passing this address to ESI and then we are printing value at that address. If I don't write this ESI, like d word of ESI, then it would be printing that address the way that we saw in GDB. Correct? The way we saw in GDB, and we don't want exactly that thing. We want value. That's why we did this. What we did was we added 4 every time into address so that it can move further. But this is not the way that it should work. How array works? Like if this is array, like if it is your C code, how array works? Can somebody tell me how array works? Okay, let us say your array is this. Okay, this is 0th address. This is its next number index. Suppose this is my next index. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If my array size is 10. So this is what we take array I equal to array of I. So array of 0, array of 1, array of 2, array of 3, so on. Correct. Now suppose my values at each location are. So I'm separating them by 0. Okay. So say 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and 0. Suppose I'm separating them by comma. So at 0 it is 9. At 1 it is 8. At 2 it is 7. At 3 it is 6 and so on. Now when we said that it is a integer kind of data, what we said, if it is a integer kind of data, then what is size of integer? We saw it is 4 bytes. Integer size is 4 byte. Now if it is if integer size is 4 byte, how exactly would we working with it then? How exactly we are going to cope up with that address? Correct. Now if I have to ultimately compute this, how the addresses are calculated. So whenever I say next val, so whenever I am picking next val equal to base plus index multiplied by size. Okay. Now, if whenever I say base, suppose address of array starts from 100. So where my first value would be 100 plus index is 0 multiplied by 4. So what would be this? What would be this? What this multiplication results to?
100.
100. Correct. Okay, so this was our first value. First value of an array, correct? Now how array internally works, that's what we are trying to look towards. So now let me talk about now my second value. Now if I change this at the index to 1, what will happen? What would be the address of my variable now?
104.
104. Now how we will know that? How we will know that? What would be the best method which can be used by us to really find out this part? Correct. So if I write this would be 104. So this is second value. If I talk about eighth value, eighth value means now here this is the seventh, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the eighth value for you. So what would be eighth value? 100 plus index is 7 multiplied by 4. So I ultimately can see it at 128. Correct? That means what? Like 100, 104, 108, then 112, 116, 120, 124, 128. So if I go with this, suppose if I say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So I can see successfully that okay, yes, my second the seventh value can be computed there. Now how internally this calculation is done, because this base address would be decided at runtime, correct? But this is the formula which is used by array, like while fetching elements from an array. So even if your matrix is organized like this, how your matrix would be? So it would be like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Suppose my address, like my array matrix could be organized like this, but ultimately in memory, it is not written the way that we see. It would be written like this only as on a vector only. It is a vector, correct? It is written as on a vector only. Now, if it is vector, then whenever I reach this location, how am I that a of ij, like that's what you use with the matrix, correct? How it works? This is internal translation byte done. So if at all I want this kind of mechanism used there with an index without writing this kind of silly code where though it is printing me output correctly, but I don't want that ESI to be changed. I want that ESI to be intact because always otherwise I have to write this again and again. So how can I achieve that part now? So let me write same code in a different way. Now why I'm showing this to you? I want you to see really what happens at translation level. Okay, with respect to the translation that we saw ultimately there in that LST file. So let us say CP 070 070721 ASM 070721 underscore 01 dot ASM. So Emacs 07 underscore 07 underscore 01 dot AM. Now I am removing this part. So I am saying here I am using something different here. OK, now let me write it here. So XOR EX. OK, let me do this way. XOR EDX comma EDX. Why I'm doing this, I will let you know. Okay, XORing same number with it. What will happen? What happens generally? If you XOR the same number ultimately. If you XOR number with same number 5 XOR 5. I hope you must have done logic, na? Yes or no? In CO or electronics too?
They are same with zero value.
Then it takes 0, correct? So if you want to make 0, now let me show you. Why do we really worry about using this kind of instruction? Okay, now let me write this way. Instead of this, I will write both. Okay, now let us only concentrate on these two instructions. Okay, let us see their translation. NASM -APLF 32 0707 01.asm -l p.lst. Sorry. Okay, line number 12. Oh, sorry. Sorry, we wanted to see. Yeah. Now see this. We have these two instructions, XOR and this. Now, like see, while you write, whenever you write a code, do you really worry about your habit? Like once I might have said, when I am asked write a C program, like think of it as a now remember the way that the player gets ready for the running race. What is the mechanism that they do apply? Okay, 1, 2, go. Correct. So our programming skills are like that only. 1, write a program. Then teacher says in C, already we declared variables, integer ABC, character CH, integer IJK. We might have declared variables like this. Right now, without worrying about whether are we going to use those variables later or not. Now see here, to translate this to because both of them are going to make value 0. XOR, as somebody was telling me, like whenever you XOR number with itself, then value becomes 0. The result becomes 0. So that's what we did. So it required, but when I do talk about this move edx comma 0, it took completely 5 bytes. Now if instead of 5, if I do 2, you may say what you are losing only 3 bytes. So you can say only 3 bytes, but 3 bytes sometimes might be much more, depending upon for what architecture you are writing. So to do it, yeah, somebody unmuted. Okay. So I hope you must have understood the thing that I want. If I use XGX, so let me show you how it works. Okay, let me dash G dash FDwarf and GCC. So let us go here. Now let me display $edx. So breakpoint main. Run. ESI, EDI. Now see EDX 0. So EDX became so, and this move EDX also making that value as 0 only. There will not be any change. Correct. So this one both is like that's what you have to worry when you are working about a translator, implementing a translator. Bytes rather in the executable, how exactly I am going to translate this. So whenever you write this kind of statement, integer sum equal to 0, what should I, whether should I write this way, move edx comma 0, or should I write XOR sum? This would be really important thing that you have to really always think about. And then that would be one important part that you have to take a call upon. Okay, 1 minute, please hold. Yeah, so like we definitely have to take a call. What should we do? Whether how we should translate this, because this statement may be considered for either of these aspects. But again, there would be definitely restrictions by your translator. There will be restrictions by your architecture too. What are the underlying architecture? Like for example, my laptop board is Intel. So Intel may have its own constraints, own limitations, which may not be able, which we may not be able to modify ultimately. Correct? Okay, so let me go back to our code. So this was our code. So we wanted to print the values. Correct? Now we printed them, but I don't want to make use of that mechanism. So what should I do then? So let me make some change. Okay, let me make that EDX to be 0. That's what I did, XOR EDX comma EDX. Okay, now this would be used in multiplication. That's why I have to make this 0. Okay, so I will say move EX comma 4. Okay, then move ECX. Okay, so we'll your index is here. I'm adding that index. Okay, anyway, we have EDI there with us, so we will say 0, EDI comma 0. So I will write mul EDI. So what will happen? meaning of this is what? EAX, like let me write meaning of this. EAX is equal to EAX multiplied by EDI. That's what this mul EDI instruction means. Fine. Okay. Now I'm adding this. Add EAX comma ESI. So I'm writing this statement like this. So next val is equal to, this is already done. Where is size? This EAX is size. Correct. This EDI is an index. So index multiplied by size. This calculation is already done. And then we are adding that to EAX. So it is like this. So next value would be found this way. That's what we are carrying out here. So next value I'm representing it by EAX now here. Correct. So because how we got this EAX? It was this EAX was represented this way. EAX comma EDI. That's what we added here, and that's what we are getting. So if I write here now EAX, okay, and then I'm removing this one, and I am saying increment EDI CMP EDI comma, how many values it will go? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So if EDI is not 4, okay, if EDI is not 4, then jump not 0 to LP. Now let us try this code. NASM GCC. So anyway, like my target is to show you the translation part. Though you may not understand instructions for a while, let us not much worry about. So we could see only 5 values, correct? We could see only 5 values. Sorry, we wanted to see 5 values. We could see only 4 values. Because in the code, what I wrote was I wrote here 4 because we are incrementing first and then comparing that EDI because we wanted greater than equal to 4. Correct. So if I write there 5, then my code gets simplified. So it will be displaying the values there. You can see all 5 values are shown here. Okay, now our target was not to display these out values. Our target was to see this file. Let me remove this. Now let us see. We are having all multiple combinations here. So we got first thing as move ESI comma array. Move ESI comma array, and we got BE here. Correct. And for EDI, we got move EDI comma 0. So BF, we already saw this part, correct? What it does? Move EX comma 0. So it has one code. B8, correct? B8, B9, BA, BB, BC, BD, BE, BF. That's what we got, correct? So let us go here in this and then move instruction. Can we find out this BE and BF? Try to find out BE, BF. They would not be here. You will never see them. Correct. So they are here. They could be found here only. This one. B8 plus RD. Correct. So like how exactly it is going to differentiate that this and this is different. So if you see square bracket, if you recall in previous session only I told you like whenever you see square bracket, that means it is either part of data section or BSS. But we already even saw, like if only data only square 0 0 is shown once, then this should be from data section only, like the way that it is declared. But used. So this is BE and BF. It only concentrated on this ESI and EDI. So it treated this as immediate value. Only that value needs to be picked from this address. See there, ESI comes first before EDI, correct? See the order like what we saw here on this page. Yeah. See, ESI comes before EDI. So 6 and 7. So 110 and 111. So like 6 and 7 is added with B8. So if I add 6, then I get this. If I add 7, then I get this with 8. Now, if it is like that, ultimately, how I would differentiating both the values? Now, which one is 0 and which one is variable? So whenever there is a square bracket, that means it is a variable declared in your array or in your data section. And whenever you have this kind of stuff, you can say that this is the immediate value. This also would be treated as immediate value. Only thing, this should be picked from that address. That's why it is done. OK. Now another one, like if you see this b move ex comma something. Okay, so we got this. So we can see that that 4 was adjusted accordingly depending upon move. We already talked about this. So this 4 we worked very efficiently. Let us talk about now. OK, maybe let me show you for XOR because it would be better for us to see how XOR we reach to XOR. So instruction set mu PQRSTU with WXYZ. Yeah. So let us see XOR here. We see like how many instructions are there. Yeah, XOR. Yeah, this is XOR. So you want R32, RM32. Correct? See this one. We got 31. XOR RM32, R32. This was 31. Correct? For that's why like even this was your mod RM. If you talk EDX, how EDX would be represented? How EDX would be represented? So if say you have EDX comma EDX, how that would be represented? What is number for EDX? 012. So 010, 010, and then mod to be 11. So if EDX and EDX, because EX is 0, ECX is 1, and EDX is 2. Now if I compute this number, this is 2, correct? And this is 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 1, 13. So C is 12, D is, so that's why this is D2. How I got it? I wrote that EDX number 010010. As both the places are containing same number, same register. That's why I wrote 010. It doesn't matter now in what order, but I know that it is register to register. That's why I took 11, and then I combined these digits in and like formed a nibble 4 bits together, and then I called this, converted this to hex. So I got D, and this was 2. So that's why we could see here in the code D2. Correct. Now let us try to see this mul EDI, how it works. So now like you will see that there will be few instructions where there are 2 operands. There is 1 operand. OK, 2 operands, 1 operands. And sometimes you may not see any operand. So I will also show you that part. Now this also contains 1 operand. OK, so if I talk about this now, mul EDI, so let us go to mul. So let us move up. As this is very big document, you may have to move up and down multiple number of times. Okay, that's only one part at the initial stage. So we want mul instruction, try to CMUL. So you have move. So you go below. Yeah, this is mul. So mul RM32. Register or memory, you write anything, F7. See here, can you see F7? Correct. And then you got E7. Now, how come this E7 came into picture? What exactly that E7 means? So if I write E7 in this way, like the way that we saw this. What is E7? E means what? 1110. Is this E? Because F would be all ones, correct? And 7. 0111. Now let me differentiate this. Correct? So it would be like this. Now the register that I have with mul is what? What is that register? Check. Let us check this. What is that register with mul? EDI. EDI is the last number. That's why this is EDI here. So now if I have EAX there, what my number, like if I have EAX there, so let me write here for mul, mul EAX. So if I write mul EAX, then I should see like this. If I have EDX, I should have 11100 1 ECX 1110 0010 EDX 11100 011 ESP 111000 sorry 100 EBP 11100 101 ESI 11100 110 and EDI. We already saw this. Correct? We already saw this EDI. Now let me differentiate this in terms of bytes. Okay, we already did that. So let me add it this way. Now give me hex representations for this. So what this would be? This would be same, correct? What it would be? 8 plus 4 plus 2. 14. 14 means D. E or E? E0, correct? This would be E1, correct? This would be E2, E3, E4, E5, E6. Okay, now let us try to see whether are we getting same things. Okay, so let me go back and let me make modification in my code. So I will add in the bottom these instructions. Okay, or at the top only I will add that. So the instruction was this. Okay, so let us say mul EAX, mul EBX, mul, sorry, we should have order maintained. Mul EBX, mul ESP, mul EBP, mul ESI, and we already had mul EDI. So we don't care about the remaining part. So let us say we have move EX, 1. For simple purpose only, we don't want to see the result. Okay, but we want to see this LST. Now see this and this one. Now try to compare. See, we got this 0, E0, E1, E2, and instructions are specifically written there. EAX, EBX, EAX, ECX, EDX. You can see the numbers, correct? I have taken the same order here too. I have not written for EDI, but because we already have seen above what EDI is. So this also would be resulting into only one operand. So whenever some instructions are there with one operand, the first operand place would be given some number which is dedicated. So what will happen with div? let us do this. Like div also takes one operand. So let me show you that too here. Okay, let us go here and we want div. So div is division. C and div. So you will see that this also takes only one operand. So F7 would be same. Now you can see, like, let me make the change now. So Emacs 1. I will simply write here as div 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 and div. Now let us see how the difference would be. And this is really important now. So if I open that p.lst, you will be surprised to see that this F7 is same here in both the cases. Then how it knows if F7 is there, whether it is div or whether it is mul. You might have started thinking, correct? But now try to concentrate on the mod rm. Here we had E, here we had F. Here we had E, here we had F. So if I see that part which was added by me here, so here this whole thing would be resulting to something like this. So this 1, this 0 is becoming 1, and that's why this becomes F. And this is the place which differentiates the instruction. And if you see now, like I will show you there as well. So F. Sorry, I wrote small, but let us see it here in the file. F0, F1, F2, F3, EBP, ESI, F6, F7. Correct? F7 is same. Now if F7, like I show you 2 fingers and then I'm asking you pick one, whether it is mul or div. How will you know that? You will try verifying what is the next byte. And according to that, you are going to distinguish that whether it is multiplication or division. Now see how kind of what kind of logic is used by them internally to differentiate between the instructions. How many instructions are there, by the way? If I pick only move, we saw how many variants possibly could be. And if at all I have to keep information about all these instructions to verify whether they are syntactically correct or not. Correct. Suppose if I write printf, if I write capital printf, will it accept? No, it will say undefined identifier, capital printf, and I don't want that kind of error. So the information about these all instructions are kept in one data structure called as opcode table. And now think of this. Suppose you are hired by Intel and you are asked, okay, boss, do this, and you want to design an assembler which will take care of all these possible instructions. Now see the variants. For only move, we saw multiple variants. For only mul, we can see multiple variants. What are the variants? Those are shown here in the bracket. These are the particular variants that move can, div can occur. Similarly, mul can occur. Correct. So now keep this in mind. What is the learning from here? Whenever in mod rm, if I see F7 as an opcode, and in mod rm, if from left side the 3rd, 4th, and 5th bit is 100, then this is a multiply instruction for me. 100. This is multiply instruction for me. whenever it is 110, because it is like this, correct? Whenever it is 110, then it is div instruction. Note it down somewhere, because this would be really important for you to while designing your own assembler, like your target. Let me tell you, target of this course is what? You should be able to design a small assembler which will translate these Intel instructions, not the toy assembler. We are going to work this way only. I want you to talk about mod RM. I want you to talk about opcode table, how this is to be built. Now this is how we are getting the representations. Okay, any question with this? You can please ask me. Yes, are you with me? Have you understood whatever I showed you today? Yes, please.
Sir, can you open the file the previous close?
Okay. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't get this. How did this E0 came? Like, how did this 110000 came?
This one, na? Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So the instruction was mul EX. Okay. The instruction was mul EX. So I am saying if my instruction contains operand EX, then I will write EX number as 000. Correct? Because of mod RM. Fine. Now,
Yeah.
as I don't have another operand, I will keep this 100. Like that's what this Intel is doing internally, or NASM is doing internally, and it kept mod to be 11. Why? Because our mul instruction is like going like this. So in all the cases, like while it is multiplying this is also register, this is also register, because we say mul and then a parameter. So both of them are registered. That's why we are getting this. So that is the reason why this 100 is kept there, and this last 3 digit is representing the register that you have as an operand for mul instruction.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now what you did was, when you wrote this, then you grouped this into a nibble group of 4 bits, and then you converted this to a number hex. That's what, like 8 plus 4, correct? 12. 12 plus 2, 14. So 14 means E, and this is 0. That's why E0. Similarly, when we talk about this, it was written like this. That's why this became F0. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Okay. Yeah. Any question again? Like if others are having questions, please ask, because it would be better. So that's what I wrote, like EX multiplied by EDI. Na? Both of them are registered. That's why one would be taken as default.
Sir, can you back again?
Sorry, which one?
Mul EDX, I think code, that code you write in.
Okay, code.
Yes.
Code. Yeah.
Sir, as you write in mul EDI, so how it come to know that the code has to multiply EAX with EDI?
Okay. Now how mul instruction is implemented? Mul instruction always assumes internally that one operand would be with EAX only, and result is to be stored in EAX only. This is how it is implemented. Correct. So let us see maybe if we can get help from manual. So yeah, you can see here for div, divides unsigned the value in AX. Okay, EAX, RAX, or like whatever. So this is 16-bit, 32-bit, and 64-bit. Okay, so let me show you for mul, so that like I can clear your problem or your doubt. Okay. Yeah, so let us go to mul. Performs unsigned multiplication of first operand and a second operand, and store the results. The destination operand in an implied operand located in register AL, AX and EX. This is implied internally. The destination operand is implied operand. The source operand would be located as in a general purpose register or a memory location. So either they would be registers or they would be memory. Correct?
Okay, sir.
Fine. Okay.
Yes.
So this is implementation done by like Intel while they designed mul instruction. So few instructions would be like that only. Now let me show you. Okay, are there any questions? So let me save this file with the 070721. Sorry, 21.txt. So let me share these files with you so that you can download them. Yeah, till that time you can ask me questions because I want you to ask me questions. It looks like I'm only the speaker and you are not getting anything, or rather everything you are getting. So I have less information than you, which may be true probably. But I want you to really understand this structure because I guarantee after 10 years, suppose you are working in some big organization where they are working on a translator, then you will remember me that time. Okay, we learned this part that time. Because this is what is to be done on Intel. I hope you must be knowing about NVIDIA, all of you. What NVIDIA is known for? What NVIDIA company is known for?
GPU.
Graphics processing units, correct? So even gaming, for all the gaming devices, they are providing the processors. Now, what are the GPU that they are coming up? For every GPU, they have to define always the translator. And I'm glad to tell you that some of our alumnus are still working there who are designing these translators for them. Like mostly people are seen from two places, either IIT Mumbai or Computer Science Department, Pune University. So like why not like scientific computing people also join there? Because that would be best dream company that you should dream about. Okay, because you will enjoy the work. Otherwise, what will you do? You will write a code, probably you will be having a person